So, thank you for joining us today at the second event of the Lyrical Gravity public program. Really happy to meet all of you, and do care that do believe that it will be more of us today. Yeah. Hello, Bogdan. Hello, everybody. Yes, even with the online events, it's not so easy to start on time sometimes, but today we are happy to unite all here in this cloud space for a conversation on performance, on VR, on ritual as it could be seen now with the technology's strong steps forward to the great bigger and bigger status in our lives, in our daily reality, in our virtual reality experience. So we'll speak today about the digitalization of the ritual, how these relations we can describe, and also we will think about possibilities that VR technologies created for us in the sense of rethinking of our subjectivity, of our identity even sometimes, and even about memory. Today we came all here because one amazing project with Ukrainian and German professionals, art professionals, finally is presented. So the Lyrical Gravity public program, which is also came into life thanks to the House of Europe, and thanks to the program of European Union and under the House of Europe. This project, this fantastic idea of German Berlin-based artist Matteo Marziano Greziano. He's a transdisciplinary artist, and his practices are mostly body-based and rooted within contemporary performance and bridges to visual arts, to digital spaces. And Matteo came up with the idea of creating a very speculative virtual reality experience which is based on pop music, on lyrics, and the title of the work, the Lyrical Gravity, it says that Matteo proposed to invent such type of the space that where another type of gravity will work. According to his idea, the most effective words from lyrics from pop songs, which is somehow this attitude is shared by many people, because if we talk about pop song, it's at least popular, yeah. And somehow I find that this Matteo's approach, it tells a lot about our perception of the time, yeah, and of such musical symbols, because I would like to underline first in all this that Matteo turned also to universal power that works, that music produces, and all these with the help of body work, with the help of translation into performance, this lyrical gravity award become possible, and now it's you can see this at the website of our project, lyricalgravity.org, when where there are also a version of lyrical gravity that you can see it just with your screen or with your computer or cell phone, but also if you have a special equipment, if you have those Googles, to experience the work in full speed. So the lyrical gravity is built by rooms, in different rooms, with different interior, exterior, in different spaces. You hear different songs, and these songs were selected by quite a massive pool of work by artists and creative team, because it also included and statistics and numbers and very intimate feelings, how to estimate those most influential pop songs in time frame from fall of Berlin Wall till the COVID. Yeah, this was the task. But after 1 year of work, this idea became a full experience available for all the users, and I'm very happy to contribute somehow to this, to be in touch with such a project, because me as a creator, I never thought that I would work with something so virtual, so technology based in some sense. Pardon. I worked mostly always with matters of recreation in large, with the issue of music, of gender, with such very lively things in general. But here, suddenly, in lyrical gravity, all this experience somehow united, because all this is rooted to the languages of music and the spoken word. And in general, if we talk about virtual reality, we understand that we feel that this is a quite vertiginous experience always, but this vertigo feeling is so in touch with a matter of sublime. And this line, I guess, is one of very important for my today's speech, because I guess that these limitations of materiality, this is what VR works challenge, and especially VR performances do. And of course, in these years already, into 2020 and already into 2021, we are in such a huge avalanche of digitalization of everything, and art is not an exception. Of course, not even attempts. A huge part of work in this sector was done in previous decades. We know that VR as a technology is not young at all. It's almost 50 years, but these interrelations between VR as technology and arts and creativity, these appeared not just at the moment the technology appeared, because this was a long process. And if we talk about artistic work with VR, we mostly start from 80s, but for most of us, as even for as for professionals of art sphere and for viewers also, VR is a medium quite known for artistic world, is fresh. It's fresh, and one thing that when we experienced VR works in some places of socialization in institutions or just outside, yeah, it was one thing. It was one type of your relations with us arts. But now when we are in COVID times, um, those one who love to experience art, they feel blocked sometimes, yeah, that we wouldn't manage to see as much art as in such a variety as we are used to. And this somehow makes scares a bit. And when me as a creator, when I saw that the digital stream is the only decision now in such circumstances, yeah, I understood that it's better to jump on. It's better to get into the very unevident for me project as Lyrical Gravity was in time. Last April we started, yeah. So I decided to challenge myself and to try to work with such type of artistic production. For me, what is important also, that just you remember when the COVID entered the game, just in several months, huge activization of commercial art galleries and all those participants of big markets. They started quite a massive VR production and activization of all digital means. And we know that one of the key European museum directors, Daniel Birbaum, left his position at Moderna Museum and switched to very unevident thing to AQ Art and London-based studio that works with such a technology-based works with the production of such things. He switched, and this was a super powerful stimuli and sign that a lot of efforts and a lot of base will be in this sphere, in digital things. And since then we understand that for many of artists and for many of curators and other art professionals, it was a real dilemma what to choose, or to start to work with digital things, or to just to wait and to wait for other possibilities. But somehow, if we talk on a level of associations, we can say that this fragility of VR experience, yeah, it's not so affordable now, yeah, and it's not so easy to distribute VR and such type of works, because one sort of experience you can propose with a with the screen, but all the heart of your work is in much more gradient shades, and that's why it's also was a big choice. If we talk about VR, AR, and mixed reality as about cluster of possibilities, of course, we can also notice that all these technologies, it manipulates what does it mean to be together. Here enters the notion of the meeting, also the notion of encounter, because when we talk about virtual reality experience, it's about the space, and this space could be compared in my vision somehow with a sacred space, and such special regimes could be estimated as a process or as an encounter, rather than just a place and structure. And here this sort of magic thinking, when we describe our reflections on VR experience, or we're trying to describe our journey through this or that experience. This mysterious part is, in my vision, in large, could be compared with a ritual as it is. Because despite this fiction line, despite that VR experience happens really just in our heads. Yeah, it's something that could be very poorly, and usually it's so exhibited. Yeah, when we saw. Could you remember when we saw VR works in our spaces in last years? Maybe it was the least spectacular works, yeah. But everything that happens there is always absolutely immaterial, and also for VR works, they're so fragile in its nature that it makes think about our bodily fragility also. Because experiencing VR creates not only the sense of your gives not only those senses that you have in your daily practice, yeah, but it also helps to open up our additional muscles in sensorial aspect, and also what could drive to comparing VR experience, and especially performance in VR as such a alter rituals, digital rituals. It's a thing that VR can cure. VR can cure the fear of flying, the fear of public speaking, fear of spiders, depression, anxiety, many eating disorders. Yes, it's quite elitistic. Not everybody can permit to be cured in such way, but in general, these characteristics, yeah, of the technology also drives to wider imagination. Just in my case, yeah, I'm sharing the things I experienced during this work. And if we talk in general about the ritual, if we talk about the performance in virtual reality as a thing that could be called ritual. I would like to propose to dive a bit deeper to the notion of Gesamtkunstwerk, or a total work of art, refer to a performance spectacle that synthesizes multiple forms of art into a unified work. Oftentimes taking place in a grand settings, in a very beneficial locations for such a spectacle, and such type of artistic action, it could be seen as a quasi-religious ceremony, and this type of total work was established by aesthetics of philosophers and practitioners of 19th century. So it's quite a past. And now being experience so more and more of VR works as we have it today, we can also compare this with our experiences in time with the live art when we visited some works where that were made in a form of total installation of work that really immersed, but by practical, by real objects, yeah. And when we are comparing this type of experience with VR, we can reopen the idea of Gesamtkunstwerk for VR also. In the same sense, when we look at the idea of the framework for synthesizing of arts, and we are thinking how it could be combined. Yeah, we can say about like about first of performing arts and representational arts. When we talk about representational, we first say about visual arts and theater and film. Here in the second part, we have performing arts that are connected with the music and with the dance. And when we go into analysis of our VR experience, in other times we'll get to the same point when the image, the gesture, the melody, the dance sequences that we join being in VR, they especially with a music-based VR. Then we understand that we are in especially that type of places. So here we see the translation of such a totality that previously were created with a objects, yeah, and now the possibility turned higher and higher, and this created a sense when we can discuss the ritual as a non-art virtual ritual. Yeah, we know that since the long years, such a phenomenon as virtual churches is highly actual, and it's more and more of such churches. And when we see how the such type of temporary and artificial online place for for religious ritual. They took the form of websites. They took a form of sometimes very strange visuality, or visuality that could be only compared with some type of business, which is also looks a bit disturbing from time to time. And we see that this instrument is used a lot with absolutely other needs as a place for religious rituals. And then when we turn back to our VR experience, and in this case I speak mostly about the lyrical gravity, because it's why I can speak so about lyrical gravity, because it has a musical component. It has body presence of both of performers and viewers. It has in the same time accent on the lyrics, and this also gives this codification of the ritual. And in this way, lyrical gravity world creates a sort of ceremony. And when we speak about performers and performance in VR, and especially multiplayer one, as lyrical gravity is, it in its ritualization, in its inner ceremony, yeah, it could be compared with another such ancient practices. And in general, when we talk about VR performance, also we can refer also to such a really ancient practices of people who were on early stages of educational level, and ritual had a extremely strong importance for their society. And when such a rituality was connected with upper interrelations with a sphere of spirits, we also can compare this with this or that moving engine inside VR, and who is a spirit here, or performer, or the viewer of such a performance. And here's also I see the space for common thinking, for growing imagination on VR, and to make it more accessible for editors, because today this technology couldn't be called really widespread, but yes, we see the only growing places. From time to time, I'm also a bit disturbed with the demand for quality image in VR production, because in my opinion this is strongly connected with the concept of the right for a bad image, yeah, and what type of image could be called bad, which quality for is there's like no limits for this upper and upper quality. And this makes things that it's mostly about about like gamification of the experience, about creating the type of artificial space that tries to conquer game design, for example, yeah. But game design, it's an industry. It's a huge thing that shouldn't be compared with artistic work in VR. Yeah, so this I don't think that do not share that this right direction for future work with performance in VR and in VR in large. But also, I was during this time I came across the phrase of Anish Kapoor, who said that. Everything in VR happening in your head, and there is still sense that it has got a hyper quality, yeah. And understanding these works of Anish Kapoor really has a hyper quality. I tend to think that even with a much more modest means of production, amazing experiences could happen. And I'm especially I would wish to underline the strong characteristics of lyrical gravity, that it never attempts to conquer, to be as or at least not worse, yeah, as those designs that are used for gaming now. But lyrical gravity, we wanted to keep it as free in its designing, and as queer also, not to follow the standards, not to stay independent in visual aspect also. And this attempt created a very cool feeling that I see inside several rooms, that these rooms in its architecture looks like I guess some clubs where I have ever been. And one of them, it was in Palermo during the opening of Manifesta 2 years ago. And it was a temple. It was a temple, and inside this temple in Palermo, it was a crazy party. And without talking about this experience with Matteo, I just figure out for myself a kind of I felt a virtual encounter with that place from my memory. And when you come across such sudden meetings with your flashbacks, with your perception of music, with your perception of lyrics in pop songs, which are sometimes very, very disturbing and annoying, etc. But you get especially that one word that creates your mood, your feeling of this era of that song. So that's why I really suggest you to think about to visit our website, the lyricalgravity.org, and to experience this. I really suggest. And also, I would like to say that our public program has 2 more events. And we have next week on Tuesday a speech by Sofia Bulgakova, my co-curator for the public program and very nice friend of mine. Really happy to see Sofia today watching us also. Hello. So after the Sofia, the final lecture will be headed by Soyun Park. Seyun. She's a multidisciplinary artist from South Korea, and she will speak about the different regimes of realities and how they intervene each other, how virtuality goes to our offline life. And Sophia, she will speak more about sensorial aspects of VR, using examples from her own practice, from wider context, and that's will be our constellation of events. And I'm very happy to be with you today, with all of you. And why you don't ask me any question? Maybe you would like to ask something or to add. So maybe no. Okay, so I was very happy to share some of my ideas on this experience, on the lyrical gravity, to talk more about it, and to give you some map of ideas that I came across on this field of exploring exploring VR performance and creating this also.
Sorry for interruption. I'm
Yeah?
a little bit late. Well, I was a little bit late, and I have a small question
Yeah.
about digital performance. For example, Grimes, as a musician, she has done a lot of stuff in a transhumanistic way, with using all of the technologies that are available for her. And for example, she had this digital clip which that used uh, of Cyberpunk 2077, this digital world, and her movements like 3D gaming could be improving of performance in this way, like through this gaming process, this digitalizing in like this kind of way. I cannot explain exactly what kind, but
Alexandra, for me, and thank you for the question and for starting the conversation. And I haven't seen especially these things that you talk about of her, but in general, how we can exclude something, yeah? If we can, or creators would like to search in these characteristics or shades of performance, why not? Because it's an art sphere, it's not a place of exclusion in each case. But when we talk about such a highly commercial things, for me it's still very complicated how to divide, or is it that maybe it shouldn't be divided, the commercial part and the production of such art mediums, yeah. So this also a point for maybe more inventive thinking. What is your point on this, Sasha?
I see it as one of the kinds that can be used for digital performance, but also it's very commercialized. It is not for everyone. It's for classes, because those technologies or those opportunities are not available for majority of people.
Yes, it's very excluding medium in general.
Yeah. So performance is inclusive, but this way of performance is exclusive, and it makes this paradox between in the meaning of performance and digital performance, as they can see.
Yes, also could be so. Also could be. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe somebody else has some words to add to this. Here I have a comment from Vladimir Polegin. I will read maybe. Good evening, Alexandra. You tend to separate gamification and game design from art. Without delving too much into the theory of art, could you explain what's the difference between the two to you in a couple of words? For me, here I, even if not to go to art theory and not to speak only on a field of arts, yeah, maybe when I talk about art and when I talk about game design and gamification, it could be everywhere. In art, it also can be. Why not? It existed even in much more mediums than only VR. But when we talk about game design, for me, it's from creative industries. It has a lot of huge part of creativity and artistic approaches, but for me, it's from the sphere of creative industries. And in this manner, have I answered on your question, Vladimir? Vladimir? I hope Vladimir heard me. Super. And maybe somebody else would like to share her ideas on the differentiation between differentiation of art and game design and gamification. Any ideas? Any proposals? Maybe. No. As Borya Kashapov once said, art isn't a creative industry. Absolutely agree with Borya. Sometimes we have amazing remarks from him. So great! It was amazing to meet you all today, this workday evening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your interest to the project, and please take a tour and join us on next events. I'll send you invitations. I'll do. Thank you. Ciao.
Goodbye. Have a great day.
Ciao. Thank you for visiting.